Howdy, y'all.
Hi, guys.
It's Ryan
And Angela.
from RNA Music.
That's right.
Favorite mom and pop guitar shop, music lesson studio, deep in the heart of Texas. That's where we're at. And it's time for another episode of Ask RNA.
That's right.
Where Angela's going to answer all your questions.
Am I?
Well, a couple of them, probably.
Maybe.
I might answer one.
Sure.
I'm so excited. Let's do this.
I know.
Welcome back, episode number 374.
Ooh.
374 episodes of us answering questions.
Yes.
This is what we're doing right now. All right, if you're new here, we have a little guitar shop and music lesson studio. Angela and I are married to each other.
That's right.
And we spend our entire week teaching people music.
Yeah.
Mostly kids, but sometimes adults.
Sometimes.
Keeping the music alive for the
All
next
the time.
generation, yeah. And we also shoot YouTube videos sometimes, at least once a week, for 374 weeks.
We try.
All right, and this is the episode where we answer questions from people all over the world,
People of the world.
which is really fun, which is why this is the most consistent video series on the channel,
Yeah.
for sure.
For sure.
Is us answering questions. Anyways, that's what we're here for. If you want a t-shirt like Angela, you get some RNA Music swaggity swag. If you would like to support small business in a small town, a small family business, you can go to the link down in the description of this video. Get you some swaggity swag. Get you a t-shirt, get you a hoodie. It's kind of cold right now. Hoodies are nice.
They are.
Get you a cuppy cup for your coffee. Whatever.
Yeah.
And I think you can even, I don't know if you can do tips. I don't know. There's something in Facebook, YouTube
Something.
world you can do stuff. Whatever you want to do. Or just get a t-shirt or, share this video. Anyways, appreciate that. Thumbs up for all you regulars. Let's go. First question. Fat Philosopher. Hey, Angela.
Hey, Fat Philosopher.
Could you go through the different types of ukuleles and tell which is the best for beginners? Thank you for your time.
Oh, goodness. I honestly don't know all the types, but I know there's soprano, concert, basically kind of like a voice or like, excuse me, I just spit. Just kind of like any instrument. You have tenor, bass, baritone, and yeah. But the most common, easily used is the soprano or concert. I own both, so I have both concert and a soprano. The concert is a little bit bigger, a smidge bigger than the soprano. I enjoy the concert better, only for my adult hands. But this is a soprano, so it's, my hands are rather large for a girl. So my hands are about the standard size of a guy's average hand. So, but it's easily gripped for a small child. I've had kids as young as 4 start on a soprano, and the neck width and thickness and distance from the sound hole to the first fret is perfect for little bodies, little arms, little hands. As an adult, holding it close to you can be a little tedious and like kind of small, but it depends on your size. Now, the concert, which I love, mine is an electric. It has the input jack and the battery here at the bottom. It doesn't have a place for a strap. I think you can, Kala does have some that have already this strap pegs in it, but mine did not come with one. I like it a lot better. So whenever I hold it, it feels like I have more room across my chest to rest my arm so that I have a good strum. So the comparison between them, top and bottom, you can see the soprano is, obviously smaller than the concert. Most people start with soprano, but concert, I had my kids play on this during our concerts. So they don't really know the difference. They like this a lot, especially if you have a kid that's transitioning from this to guitar. It's good to have them go from soprano, concert, and then maybe a parlor size guitar. So there you go.
I'm so useful.
Yes, you are. Thanks, babe. So yeah, I've had lots of kiddos just stick with sopranos up until they were teenagers. For a lot of girls, teenage age is usually the age where they stop growing, so that is their adult size for a lot of girls. Not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them. And so they prefer the soprano because of the size of their hands are a lot smaller. But if you have a bigger hands, broader chest child, sometimes the soprano can feel too much like a toy.
Yeah.
So.
Sopranos are really the most affordable.
Yes.
Concerts, there's a bit of a step up in price to go to a concert. But if you're an adult...
It's probably three times the price.
And a male, I would suggest the concert. Although, I mean, it's doable. You could play the
It's the same tuning, basically. It's the same tuning, so you're going to get basically the same sound. Other than because of the body of the concert, it's going to have a richer sound. Even my younger kids noticed. They're like, "Why does yours sound lower than mine?" They'll actually say that. They have verbally said that, and for them to articulate that and to hear that and notice the difference is a significant thing. So there is that, but it's the exact same tuning.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the baritones are tuned differently. You get a baritone ukulele does have a different tuning. But sopranos and concerts and the tenors.
And of course, bass, it's like a whole nother string.
A uka bass.
A uka bass
is tuned like a bass.
Yes, and the strings are like rubber hoses.
Yeah, I don't like those very much. The uka basses.
It's interesting. It's almost like
weird.
Pointless. Like I don't understand unless you're recording something you want that kind of sound.
We should get you a tenor so you can have a tenor ukulele.
Yeah,
that would be funny.
Yeah, they have a lot of them with like different kind of sound holes and just like all guitars. Some of them are built like that look like regular guitars.
We carry Kala ukuleles. Kala is like the Fender of ukuleles.
Yeah,
I mean they are like by far the biggest.
They're the biggest
manufacturer brand of ukuleles. There's others out there.
Yeah,
Kala's definitely the biggest, most well known, and for us they've been really easy to work with. Even though we're a little bitty, tiny mom and pop shop in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, they've been really cool to us. Certainly not like Fender at all. Like Fender is a huge.
Yeah.
So difficult to become a Fender dealer if you're a small shop, but to carry the Kala stuff. So I mean, we recommend the Kala.
Yes,
good stuff. Right? Yes. Thanks for the question, Fat Philosopher. Next question.
Okay.
Fat Philosopher. Hashtag Final Frontier. Hashtag It's the Final Countdown. I love that song.
Dun, dun.
No. All right, if Canton is the heart of Texas, where's the liver, kidneys, brains, and naughty bits? I thought it was super funny because somebody commented underneath that and they're like, if there's a bunghole, it's definitely Houston. So I thought that
is true.
I
would say that would probably be the liver.
I was going to say, what are your opinions? Thoughts?
Oh gosh, I was sitting there thinking.
It immediately came to me as I was typing this, copying and pasting.
Okay, well
then
you go.
All right.
Because I can't think.
The brains is definitely Dallas.
Okay.
The naughty bits is definitely Houston.
Yeah, either that or Austin. I can see Austin.
I was gonna say Austin's the liver because there's a lot of toxicity being going through Austin. You're having to filter. I mean, the liver and the kidneys basically filter toxins.
Yeah.
So that's probably Austin.
Yeah.
I would say.
I would say more than likely our naughty bits are the border. That would be our naughty bits.
I was gonna say Houston because there's a lot of human trafficking.
Yeah, well, I know. I think
crime
I think that the tail of Texas.
That's probably the naughty bits.
The naughty bits of Texas.
I would say so.
It's a high density of cartel down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad as someplace. I mean, Texas is still relatively safe.
We're reproducing the most.
The population.
Down at the border. Population growth is down at the border.
All the growth of the population is like millions of people a day popping up into Texas.
So I would say the naughty bits is the border.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually.
And then I would say brains, Dallas, because that's where the most financial hub of the world, honestly, goes through Dallas, Texas.
Forget NASA. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, no. The financial district of Dallas is pretty substantial. And then I would say the liver is Houston because it's just, it's important. Liver's very important, but it's the filter because it's by the water. So, and then I would say the kidneys are both San Antonio and Austin.
What is I was gonna say, what do you think San Antonio is?
I would say it was part of the kidneys or the
I'd say
bladder.
San Antonio's nice.
Yeah,
I
it
like
is.
San Antonio.
But it's important.
It's extremely important.
They're vital. You don't need. You can't.
San Antonio's like the lungs. How about that? You gotta have lungs.
I mean, that kind of displaces the body, but
It's the diaphragm.
I would say the diaphragm would be like the central part of Texas, all the country land where all the ranchers and everything. That would
The
be,
hill country.
The hill country is the lungs of Texas.
Hey, all right.
Because when you go out there, you're like, oh my god.
All there is giant windmills.
Yes, it's just like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
So I would say the center of Texas are the lungs.
The solar plexus of Texas.
Yeah.
Funny question. Thank you, Fat Philosopher. Where's the brains of Japan? And the liver, kidneys, and naughty bits in Japan.
Yeah.
So I gotta know. I've never been
I
in
know.
Japan. That's where a Fat Philosopher lives.
Right.
So it's a really tiny island, though.
Yeah.
So, but where's all the stuff there? Yeah.
Yeah, we used to
I bet
call
the brains is Tokyo.
Probably. We would always say, like, in America, the United States of America, Oklahoma was the belly button.
Yeah.
Which would make Texas the groin.
Texas is the naughty bits. Texas
Which
is
makes sense.
I think Texas is the heart of America.
Yeah.
Really. That's what. Anyways, all right. And now it's time for comment of the day.
Oh my goodness, so fast.
Comment of the day, yeah. You make the comment, we read the comment. Comment of the day.
I'm at a loss here. Pretty good considering we had a winter storm here in Texas. Threw it on the ground. Extra pick.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh Lord. Here
Comment
we
of
go.
the
Hold on,
day.
Let me get some water.
Comment of the day song. This is where we write a song on the spot, unprepared, from a comment from a viewer from last week's video. So I pick out a comment that seems appropriate,
Scooch.
or that I like, or I think is funny, or whatever. Or sometimes there's not a lot to choose from. Like
When
this
it's
week,
just a comment.
like this week, there wasn't a lot to choose from. So,
This one's good.
oh yeah, for sure. So, comment of the day song. It's early. I haven't even played guitar at all today.
So it's gonna sound like all the other songs that we've done. So because that's the only tune I have in my head.
Yeah.
Normally
we
why
shoot
I
this,
don't write songs.
normally we shoot this in the evenings, and today we're doing it early,
Yeah,
so we don't waste our evenings after working here all day
yeah.
doing
They're
videos.
like, we're wondering why y'all look so puffy.
Yeah, we're slightly less tired
We're
because it's like noon right now.
Which is basically
Yeah.
like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, this is normal. Normally, after a long day of work, we try to shoot this, and we're always like, ugh, it's late. I want to go
Now we're
home.
like, oh, it's early.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the perfect time. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, let me listen to the melody. Okay.
Anthony Thornhill. I don't agree with Angela on a lot, but I 100% agree with her on the drinking comment. Seen it way too much. Exclamation point. Exclamation point.
Yay! Okay. I really had no clue what to play there.
I don't have
but that
no
was
idea
awesome.
what to sing. I was trying to follow the.
Ow!
That was so crazy.
No, that's good. Well, we play a lot of songs in C.
Okay.
So I like it.
Yeah.
There's a couple of chord voicings I like to use. The F,
Cause it's high for me.
F2 or
Yeah.
F add 9 chord, G spinning. Anyways,
Right.
Anthony Thornhill. I don't agree with Angela a lot, but I 100% agree with her on the drink comment. Seen it way too much. All right. Last week we talked about people doing stupid stuff when they're drunk, like Phil Anselmo from Pantera,
Yeah.
and why they don't get to play in Germany now because he was. And we talked about that. It came up that you said something about the
Yeah.
that
Whenever
who you really are comes out when you're drunk.
Yes. And I think a lot of people who were like, no, that's not right. Really, I think what they're internalizing is they don't want to admit that that is who that man really is. Because that means that I'm saying that he's really a racist. No, it doesn't mean that he's a racist. It just means that he has a lot of not so great thoughts about people groups. And that doesn't mean he hates them or wishes them ill.
Or
he
is
just
actually going to do something.
Right. He just has ignorant thoughts. And his ignorance kind of didn't get a filter. Most people have ignorant thoughts towards other people. We just have filters called consciousness.
Yeah.
But when you lose that inhibition, sometimes it comes out. Like,
it was funny because the first comment was someone says like, I disagree, all caps, with Angela on the drinking thing. And I was like, all right. That's fine. I mean,
That's fine.
You are allowed to respectfully disagree with anything or have an opinion as long as it's respectful.
Yeah.
And then I thought immediately after that, like literally like 5 minutes later, Anthony commented. He's like, I don't agree with Angela a lot, but I 100% agree on that.
Yeah.
I just thought I was tickled that there was a very firm response.
Completely disagree.
And then someone who's like, yeah, I've seen that way too much.
Yeah. See,
So-
I'm an observant person. I'm hyper observant. And so whenever I drink, and when I used to drink a lot when I was a kid, when I drank then, I would become more and more quiet. And they were like, what's wrong with Angela? She's just sitting there. Because naturally, even as a small child, I was an extremely quiet person. So if I ever have more than 2 glasses of wine, I resort to just kind of mellowing out and just being quiet. I am not the life of the party. I am not the person. When I'm talking a lot or being like, hey, how are you? That is somebody that I turn on because I'm trying to get out of my shell of what I naturally am. Because who I naturally am is extremely introverted, quiet person. I like being by myself. I like having that's why I crochet. Crochet is not a group thing. I paint. Painting is not a group effort. I like playing. I like doing word puzzles. It's not a group thing. Everything that I love to do is a solo thing. I don't enjoy groups, big groups. So whenever I have something that kind of numbs the consciousness a little bit, it goes to my subconscious, and my subconscious
lowers your inhibitions.
Who I actually am is very quiet and reserved. I will not be dancing on the table, going around being like loud. I do that without alcohol. I do that without, because I just I want to grab people like, hey, how are you doing? How's it? Like I'm campaigning or something. That's what I do on a normal basis because I try to break out of my very shy, introverted shell.
Yeah, you're forcing yourself to be
right. So whenever I'm sitting there after, whatever, 2 glasses, I say 2 glasses of wine because usually that's my limit. 2 glasses of wine, I just sit and watch people. And I've observed the sweetest person that I've been friends with turn into the most raging butthole that I've ever met in my life. And I've ended friendships because I'm like, that's who you really are. And then as we started going about our friendship, I started noticing certain things that this person would say, and I would catch on. I'm like, oh, I never noticed it before that you were actually a jerk because I liked who you pretended to be around me. And then when she would drink, it was like, that's who you really are. Okay. I don't like that.
There were hints of it when she was sober. When she was sober, there were
little
subtle
sprinkled hints of it because she controlled it so much, but she couldn't control it whenever she was drinking, and it would come out, and it was just like, ooh, I don't like this about you. I don't like being around this at all. And I dated a guy that was that way. He was so sweet. Everybody loved him. But as soon as he had alcohol, he was a raging butthole. And so it was just like this, I just noticed. I noticed it about my family members. I noticed it about just regular people, even celebrities. You find that about them. So it's if you watch it enough and you're honest enough about your environment and the people that you love, it's the truth.
Well,
believe it or not.
That's just a thing that people kind of always say.
Yeah.
I would say, my comment on that is I come from a long line of alcoholics in my family.
Yeah.
The lollies used to be like hoodlums.
Right.
And some of them are like abusive alcoholics and stuff. Now, I don't drink.
No.
It's like even in college, everybody was drinking. They're like, you want to drink? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Come on, you should drink. I'm like, really?
You might have a taste of some alcohol maybe once a year.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah. Maybe once a year.
Let me taste that.
Yeah.
Let me taste that. And you're like, nah, I like Dr. Pepper more.
Yeah,
I knew it would suck.
When I was in college, I never really drank anything. No, well, that was in high school because my mom would have a glass of wine every now and then to kind of help relax.
Most people
and her, like, and I was like, what you drinking? And she's, laying in bed. She's like having, reading her book and like
having a glass of wine.
one glass of small. I'm like, what's that? She's like, it's wine. I'm like, can I have a taste of that? Because I like grape juice.
Right.
It's a big grape juice. She's like, sure. And it was like,
it's not Manischewitz.
It was pretty, our family, like my parents didn't drink.
Right.
Well, no, they didn't really.
No.
My dad might have when no one was watching.
Right.
But like his parents were horrible, and like, a lot of other alcoholics, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was a big thing that we didn't really drink in our house. But I never really wanted to.
Never. My parents never did.
She let me though. I was like, "Can I have a drink?" She's like, "Yeah, you can have a taste." And I was like, "This is horrible."
You're like,
you put this in your mouth. I'm like, "Oh."
And I'm done.
And even in high school, I never drank, and then in college, I didn't because it was fun to not cave into the peer pressure.
Right.
Because we'd go like on spring break trips and stuff, and I was the only one not drinking. And everybody else was drinking. Like, you want something? Like, no. It would just drive them nuts that I didn't want to drink. And the more they tried to make me drink, the more I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not into that. And they'd be like, because then they felt bad about like, I was like, yeah, I don't need to drink to have a good time. I'm having a good time already.
Right.
And so it was kind of funny because it was the more you come at me with pressure, the more I'm like, I ain't doing it.
Right.
You can't. I can't.
And I'm like, wee!
Angel's like, wee!
Not anymore. When I was a kid. Not anymore. Not anymore. Please. Yeah.
Right. So, anyways, I've never been drunk.
Yes.
Like, at all. I don't think I've ever even been buzzed. But I think that's the alcoholic DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had, I was about to say cocaine. I've not had cocaine. What was it when I was in the hospital? What did they give me?
Yeah. I can't remember.
Something.
Yeah.
Morphine.
Yeah.
That might be the only time I've ever been, like...
Loopy.
Well, the dentist.
Okay. This is so, rated G, like, for Ryan's life, and I'm just like,
Anyways.
Yeah.
So, I that's kind of the general thought, it seems, to people like, yeah, that's who they really are, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, and then a couple people, comment like, I don't think that's how it is, and even not Fat Flosser, Just on Guitar was like, nah, I don't think that's right either. He disagreed, but he was like, he doesn't drink anymore. But when he was younger, he used to drink, and it's like him and his buddies. He said, we're like, well, we were kind of like idiots when we were drinking. So, but I'm not really like that. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, but the fact is, if you were a kid. Kids are idiots.
Well, kids are idiots.
And then their idiocy gets louder whenever they drink.
When you're in your late teens and early 20s, everybody's an idiot anyways.
Yeah.
But, so I thought, I'm going to Google this. I'm going to do some research. I was like, surely there's some research. Of course there is.
Of course there is.
And what's interesting is the research isn't really conclusive.
Right.
That,
it's from when you cut your hair.
That it's who you really are. Mm-hmm. There were some studies that said yes. Mm-hmm. There was one study where they took, these people and they were like talking about how they thought they were. Mm-hmm. They thought they were a different person when they were drunk, and they did a study and they had outside observers, and then they had people that they actually knew and they're like, no, that's just who they are. Mm-hmm. No, it's just more of them. So, but the person thought that they were different when they were drunk, but everybody who knows them was like, no, they're not different. That's just more of who they really are.
Right.
And that was in a study. So. But it wasn't hard, concrete, 15 clinical trials have determined that this is
right
for sure.
No, but I also agree, like, if the person is not hiding who they really are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're just who you are, you don't hide anything, then of course you might not change who you are, you're the same. But if you're constantly trying to preserve yourself, like with me, like I'm constantly trying to not be that shy person because I want to meet people. I want to be, there's times where I like to keep to myself, but I don't want to be shy because I was fearfully shy. It wasn't an okay shy. It was a very it wasn't good. And so I'm constantly trying to keep that shy, very timid person at bay. So whenever that...
Because you being shy and not talking to people and
right.
not engaging with people is not a benefit to
right. And so whenever I have that numbing, I'm able to kind of relax into who I actually am. But if you're an a-hole naturally, like with his relatives. If you're a name a-hole naturally and you're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it gets magnified just a little bit, but they are who they are no matter what. So like Just Fine Guitar, if you're just like a jokingly good guy and that's just who you are, you're not hiding anything, you're genuine all the time 100%, that's just going to get amplified. Now, but if you're hiding, that's what I should clarify, is that there's a side of that person that they're constantly hiding, it's coming out.
Yeah, it's an interesting discussion. So I appreciated you guys leaving your thoughts. I appreciate Anthony agreeing with us, and I appreciate I slipped
I
my
love
mind,
conversation.
I appreciate Just Fun Guitar and the other commenter
who
disagreed. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Y'all shared that respectfully too. Which was
that's
nice.
the point. Yeah.
So great conversation. The best part of this video came out of comment of the day song. All right.
Yes.
Final questions.
Yes.
Just Fun Guitar. New questions. 1, how did you come up with hashtag KTMA? And 2, Thor or Batman? Question mark. Good questions. I think we've talked about the KTMA thing. I think didn't a viewer come up with that?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think.
I can't remember.
What's his name?
He'll let us know. He'll comment.
Yes.
He's like, that was me in episode
Yeah.
87.
Yes.
It
was not us.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was like, hey,
it was one of you
oh,
guys. They hashtagged it. I think it was what's his name. He came to visit us one time with his wife.
Yeah. Did we say keep the music alive and they turned it into a hashtag, or did they say, hey, keep the music alive?
I think. I don't know.
I think we were already saying keep the music alive, and they were the ones who said hashtag KTMA. I was like, that's an abbreviation for keep the music alive.
Okay. Yes.
I think that's how that came about.
I think
now the whole
we've said so many things and people have asked us questions.
Or the idea or concept of keeping the music alive.
I think came out of a question, and you're like, well, our point is that we want to keep the music alive for the next generation. And it turned into a catchphrase.
Yeah, it's sort of like our mission statement.
Yeah.
It's like, why do we do what we do? What's the point of teaching lessons,
Mm-hmm. I think it goes back to whenever music programs are being shut down in schools and stuff. And when someone asks us, what do we think about that? And it's like, that's what we do. What we do is to keep the music alive.
Yeah, well, and also, I went to school to be a band director. So, concert band, marching band.
Saying engage.
That's my engage. That's my background. But even within that, there's a really strong public music school programs in Texas with bands and marching bands and choirs and stuff like that. However, there's not a lot for I don't want to play the saxophone. I want to play the guitar.
Right.
I want to play some Led Zeppelin. I want to learn Green Day. I want to learn whatever. So even though my background is in the school band thing, and I do teach that, I have students who they need help with their all-region music or their all-state music. I'll help them. And I can help you with that. That's easy. You should try learning some Jeff Loomis. That's hard. That's difficult. Right. Let's get out of here with this all-region music. That's easy.
We can do this.
But I like because my theory on the school band stuff is, and I'm all for kids should be in the band. If you're in public school, you should be in the band, and it teaches you a lot of great things about teamwork and working with other people and stuff. However, you are not going to play the trombone again, probably.
Unless you're
probably
church or
well, there are a few people. Right, and we have a viewer who's a trombone player. I have one friend of all my friends from the different colleges and universities I went to, who actually plays the saxophone in a funk band in Missouri or Kansas City or somewhere. And he's in a band called Fat Pocket Funk. He's a manager at a Walmart or something, but on the side he plays saxophone in a band. The one dude out of hundreds and hundreds of people I know that actually play their band instrument. Anyways. Guitar, bass, vocals, piano. Ukulele, piano, keyboards, percussion. That stuff you can play all, until forever, right? In lots of places. You don't always have a place to play your clarinet, unfortunately.
Unless you're like Benny Goodman.
Well,
you can just
who's been the last Benny Goodman?
I don't know.
Benny Goodman. Right? On the last Avenged Sevenfold record, they had some clarinet in one song. Awesome. And it was funny because I have to go look at that track again. I'm all right, okay, all right, Avenged Sevenfold, pushing the boundaries a little bit there. So there you go, Just Fine Guitar. Thank you. Thor or Batman? You're not the League. Who do you think? There's only one right answer.
Hulk. I would probably say.
That's not the question, Angela.
I would probably say.
Strongest Avenger.
I'm trying to weigh it out in my mind, like.
Strongest Avenger.
You can't intimidate me.
I'm just,
I'd have to say Thor.
Strongest Avenger.
Only because, not because of Ryan. Only because I have to I have to think of, like, overall, Batman, as good as
He's a douche.
is.
Kind of a narcissist.
He is, yeah, he's a little bit of a jerk. And I just...
Darkness.
There's... even though Thor in the comic books and, like, like, what was it? Avengers? What was it? The cartoon that we used to watch?
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
What's it
Yeah,
called?
I think
That?
so. Or Avengers Assemble.
He was a little bit of a narcissist too. So they're about the same when it comes to thinking of themselves greater than they actually are, and whenever they don't really, they need team. I mean, Batman has a kid helping him, like
Boy Wonder.
and a girl.
It's a little awkward.
and it's just like, and an old man. So it's like, is he all that, and he like,
Batman fans are so triggered right now.
I know.
Triggered.
But I love Batman only because he's just a regular guy who took it upon himself to say, enough is enough. I'm just going to use my knowledge and my money to fight the corruption in my town. And I wish we had more Batmans, honestly. I wish Elon Musk would return into a Batman. That would be awesome.
Batman is DC's Iron Man,
Yes.
basically.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, logistically. Like, I think Thor is better because he's supernatural. And he can do more things.
Strongest
Like,
Avenger.
if he came up against the Joker wouldn't stand a chance. Like, he would throw his whatever things and all this stuff, and Thor would be like, what is this?
Zap.
Yeah, and then or put Mjolnir on him and, lightning bolt him to death,
Oh my gosh.
And then many times that I've watched Batman just get completely pummeled by people and just be like barely on his like last
Barely hanging
leg.
on.
And then Thor is not really in that kind of position. He isn't. If they do, it's only because they don't want to make that. They wrote it that way because they didn't want to make the other guys look bad.
Thor's like holding back most of the time.
Yes.
So he's like, I'd be over too soon if I just actually.
And the only way
tried
that
hard.
Batman would not hold back is if he actually killed somebody. Like, he'd have to do a mortal thing, and because he couldn't be like Superman. Superman would just be like, okay, guns, fine, whatever. I get, drop a nuclear bomb on me. That's not going to affect me because I get my, power from the sun.
Radiation.
Literal radiation. Thanks for the boost.
Thanks for the level up.
So I don't know. I think Thor, just because of all the different things. But who do you think?
Batman.
Of course.
Easily.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yes. Which
Thor.
Which Batman?
Oh. I will say, my favorite DC character probably is Batman.
Yes, hands down.
And I like the newer, freaking sirens. Where's Batman? Canton PD's got to go handle it. 'Cause Batman's, he's at work managing a doctor's office
I
today.
bet he's in Gotham City, so
Yeah.
there's not a country bumpkin Batman.
Some of the newer DC animated stuff, like the DC animated kind of short films that they put out, are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I freaking like that Batman because he's the smartest guy in the room. And
Yeah.
when they went to Apocalypse, and then they were it was the, he basically, what's his name? Crap, not Doomsday, but what's the guy's name with the laser beams?
I don't know.
He's like the Thanos of DC. Mm-hmm. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
He was in the Justice League movie.
Abomination?
No, Darkseid.
Darkseid.
All right, but he basically was like, Darkseid had him by the neck and killed him easily. And he's like, "You kill me, but your whole planet's gonna blow up because I set some bombs. It's gonna blow up your whole planet. So you let us go, or your whole planet is toast." And he was like, "All right, if you were the Kryptonian, I wouldn't have believed you, but humans, yeah." He's like, he knew that Batman was serious, so
Right.
he was like,
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing with Batman.
"Yeah,
That he is so relatable.
yeah,
Unlike Thor. Thor is not relatable.
yeah." Well, Thor is the guy, so
Yeah.
demigod. But definitely Thor for me. I have a collection of Thor paraphernalia in my lesson room.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
B-roll that over here, and it's funny because when the kids come in for the lessons, they'll like, okay, here's our amps, here's the drum set, here's your chair, go sit here, here's our piano. Like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and play here and blah blah. And they look over in the corner. And I was like, what's that? I was like, oh, that's my Strongest Avenger collection. They're like, I'm like, oh, I was asking, who's your favorite Avenger? And they're like, Spider-Man. I'm like, oh, Spider-Man's pretty cool. Yeah, he's all right. Sometimes they'll be like, they never say Captain America, unfortunately. Sometimes like,
No one says Captain
Iron
America.
Man. It's always Iron Man or Spider-Man. I'm like, oh yeah.
Who says Captain America?
Nobody. Which is dumb because Captain America is great.
He is. He
Freaking-
really is. But
Freaking love Captain America. But the kids love like, who do you think mine is? And they're like, Thor. Like, yeah, it's Spider-Man. Just kidding. No, it's Thor. Of course, it's Thor. Strongest Avenger.
Strongest
Yeah.
He's the
Avenger.
best, right? But comic book Thor. I freaking love comic book Thor. Like more than movie Thor, really, because
yeah, maybe
they
Thor
did him
is
dirty.
disappointing.
They did him dirty. They did movie Thor dirty, and that really hurts my feelings deeply on a deep level. But comic book Thor, I'm getting more and more into comic book Thor. I appreciate him because he's just like certain runs of the comic. He's like, he ain't putting up with no BS.
Right.
And I like that when like I have it at the house in the comic where he comes back and he's got new Asgards like floating over Oklahoma, like he brought everybody back after some Ragnarok or something like that. And then like the U.S. government sends Tony to go, hey, they can't be over here. Like you need to tell him to pack it up. So Tony comes to like tell him what to do, and he's not having it at all. And he just like lays him out. He's like, you been working out? He's like, no, I'm just not holding back. I always held back before. You tell them to shut up. You tell that government to F off. If they come over here again, I'll show them. Like basically come to DC and destroy it. I was like, yeah, you tell them. That's right. Screw those congressmen.
He's like, forget Columbia. I'm Thor.
He's like,
District of Columbia in my butt. Who is this Columbia? Let me fight her.
what are you talking about? So I loved it. So he like, just toasted Tony's armor, like fried it completely. And he's like, how am I supposed to get home? He's like, walk. And he leaves. And he's just like, screw you, Tony.
He's like, don't
like,
you have any more drones that can come pick you
Don't
up?
you ever come back
little man?
here, and don't ever have the government come back here,
With
or
your
I will
talking
show
toys.
them. I will show them what a god really is like, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just like, oh,
Dun, dun,
That's my
dun.
that's my Thor, not the Marvel Thor. Anyways, who's your favorite Avenger?
Hulk.
And who's? Oh, I know yours is.
Oh, okay.
Second
Who's my
strong-
favorite DC character?
Second
Green
strongest.
Lantern.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
I love the Green Lantern. I loved. Yeah. Hal Jordan.
Not Ryan Reynolds.
No.
version.
That was the most disappointing. Made me cry.
Horrible.
Horrible.
How they did Green Lantern.
They did him dirty. They did.
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
I want
You've destroyed my childhood.
vindication for Green Lantern because he is a awesome character. If they would have done it right,
Yeah,
they could have done that awesome.
they didn't. Unfortunately.
Dang it, Ryan Reynolds.
Dang it, Ryan Reynolds. He's a good Deadpool. Like he was made to be Deadpool, but
Yes,
he's
it was just too-
he's no Hal
It
Jordan.
was so dumb.
Horrible. Horrible. All right, there you go. Or you guys tell us down below who your favorite DC hero is and who your favorite Marvel hero is, and villain. You can say villain if you want to.
You sure can.
And tell us, who do you like more, Batman or Thor?
And why?
Easily. And why? Right. All right, and that was the last question. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed this whole video, make sure you get a thumbs up and leave a comment. If you have a question for next week, we got a lot of views on last week's because
Yeah.
we were talking about Pantera and it was
Oh, of
contentious.
course. Mm-hmm.
A lot of views, not a lot of comments, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah, people
So,
are like, I don't like that Angela.
I don't like her. How dare they say that about Phil? He's a good person.
And yet I still slept like a baby.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that works.
Isn't it? Right? All right. And now it's time for secret hashtag of the day. If you're still here, all the diehard people, you're still here. Secret hashtag of the day is hashtag mighty. And we'll know that you watched this whole thing.
I thought it was going to be Raging Butthole.
No.
Okay. We don't need that on our...
No, that might suppress
That's
the video.
a bad algorithm.
Might
That's a
suppress.
bad
They're like, that's
algorithm.
not a video we want people searching for. Hashtag mighty. And we'll know you watched the whole thing, and everybody else who's cool will know you watched the whole thing. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep the music alive.
Don't forget it.
The music needs you.
And you need the music.
And we need to keep it alive for the next generation.
That's right.
Yeah. That's right. Batman's okay. Batman's alright.
Yes, he is. He's awesome.
He is awesome.
Actually, I have more Batman shirts than I do Thor shirts.
I don't have any Thor shirts. Because you can't ever get, they don't ever have Thor t-shirts. You know who's better at merchandising? Batman. Batman, everywhere. Batman. I get pissed off when I go into stores and there's they got dish towels or scrubby things or toys. Like, oh, there's a Spider-Man, there's an Iron Man, there's a Hulk, there's a freaking Black Widow. Where's Thor?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have any Thor scrubbies? But you got a Spider-Man scrubby? But Batman pillows, Batman blankets, Batman socks, just Batman.
I'm just going to start making you a bunch of Thor, iron-on shirts and stuff.
I can't, I'm so bad. I can't ever find
I'm going to print off a whole, just different Thor,
I can't ever find, I can find ladies ones, though.
Yeah. This is weird.
I'm we'll be at the store oh, it's a cool.
They're like, they love Chris Hemsworth, so let's put Thor on stuff because they'll think they're wearing Chris Hemsworth.
Hemsworth. Me. Oh, it was Grant had a cool Thor shirt, though.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know
probably
what
can go to the Dallas area and find some stuff.
Go to Kohl's. Kohl's.
You have to go up there.
You think you could find them online, but
No,
not so much.
not so much.
Dang it, Thor. All right.
Dang it. Hashtag dang it, Thor.
Hashtag dang it out, Thor. He smote me.
He sure did.
Smote my ankle.
No, that was Batman with the little...
He hit
Batarang.
me with a batarang right in the ankle as I was turning off the camera. Freaking Batman. Bruce Wayne. Everybody knows your name, Bruce Wayne. Coming to your house now.